All right, let's talk about Geno Smith. A disappointing day for the quarterback for Seattle, as Seattle had a real chance to win this game against the Cincinnati Bengals, weren't quite able to get it done, and some fingers have been pointing at Smith's inability to get it done. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The numbers not good. Only a 69.5 overall passer rating, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not good enough. And even his overall passer rating, of 90.7 this season, 10 points lower than it was last year, albeit small sample size. But let's talk about what went wrong in this one. We're going to start off with this play, and I do want to always be clear in this stuff. Contrary to popular belief, quarterback play is football is a team sport, right? A quarterback play is still dependent on your teammates. On this play, it's one-on-one matchups across the board, so you can only, you can only throw it to someone if they can win their one-on-one matchup. Also, I'm going to highlight a specific Cincinnati player, that interior defensive lineman. Watch what he's going to do on this play. Watch as Smith takes the snap, and very quickly there is pressure right in his face. On top of this, looks down the field, and nothing is open. So this is definitely something that happened. And again, maybe you could throw up a pass on one of these. It's not like it's like a disaster scenario. I think the kind of outside route, there's an opportunity there. But again, you're under pressure right now. Not a lot Smith can do. Instead, he decides to take the check down, which I think is probably the right play. Like, we did see this happen a bit in this game. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is good. Like, that's kind of my takeaway, is that the Bengals did a really good job. I think the Seahawks have a good offense. The Bengals did a good job covering, and they did a good job rushing the passer. And because of that, it made the situation tougher for Gino Smith. That was absolutely a part of it, in my opinion. Like, something like this is another example where it's going to be a zone coverage play, and you see DK Metcalf's route. He's going to kind of fake as though he's going over the middle, but then he's going to be running a route towards the top of the screen. That's the way this is going to go. As you see, Smith takes the snap. He is going to run a play action, looks up towards Metcalf. It's a long developing play, and nothing worse than when you wait a while for a long developing play to develop, and then once you look over there, it's not open. Because now, what do? I mean, you're in real trouble. To the offensive line's credit on this play, they're blocking pretty well, so he has a little bit of room. He's going to eventually navigate the pocket and then again find a check down. A lot of times when you see quarterbacks hitting a lot of check downs, if you're just watching the broadcast footage, you might be wondering, man, why aren't they pushing the ball down the field? Sometimes it's because they're legitimately playing too cautious, but sometimes it's because they can't push the ball down the field because those routes aren't open. And again, maybe he could be taking these chances. If you want him to, I can see it, but, not necessarily. It's not necessarily a good idea. And I do want to say, overall, like, the yards per attempt was pretty good in this game. I would say, like, actively good in this game. A lot of the stuff was not bad by Geno Smith. It was just, there were some bad plays by the Seahawks offense. Like, this play is a good one where it's a one-on-one matchup on the outside. It's going to be Tyler Lockett, who is in a one-on-one matchup. And, Tyler Lockett, known for his deep shots. Definitely, if he gets a one-on-one matchup on the outside, look in his direction. As you see, Smith's going to take the snap right here. It's not like wide open or anything when he's getting ready to make the throw, but you know what? Let's take a shot and let's see what happens. Look, as you see, Smith does put this one right on the money. He had some really good throws in this game. He did. This was not a disastrous game by any means by Smith. It was a disappointing game because of a couple of the interceptions. Really, one of the interceptions was the main reason why this was, I think that's kind of the main criticism I would put on Smith. Like, this play, this is just a bad play. It's zone coverage, and the way this is supposed to work for Seattle is it's a bit of a, clever concept. Nothing crazy that you'll never see, but, a good call, I think. You have currently the only wide receiver who's lined up towards the offense's right. He's going to be running a route over the middle, but they also have Jackson Smith and Jigba in motion. Smith and Jigba is going to then run underneath and get towards the, sort of outside the numbers, basically follow where the wide receiver on that side of the field was. Hopefully, the idea is the corner pays more attention to the outside receiver. Smith and Jigba can go up, and either he's going to just get wide open, or a player who's supposed to cover over the middle now has to cover deep, and you get a mismatch. So that's the way this play is designed to work. As you see, Smith is going to take the snap, and really, I would say this is good coverage. Cincinnati's all over this. I mean, this is not open, in my opinion. The defensive back who's reading this play notices what's going on, which is, again, that's smart football for sure. This is Mike Hilton who's reading this play, and he does a good job working in that as a sort of a slot corner here. So, well, yes, you're getting a mismatch. You're getting a slot corner having to go down the field. Mike Hilton is a good player, so that's also an aspect of it here. But, at this point, I can see why Smith wants to make this throw. I mean, you have a player who kind of has his back turned away from the quarterback, so that's why Smith is deciding to do it. But also, you look at this throw, if you're going to make that throw, you have to put it higher, I think. I think that's another aspect. It still would have been dangerous, still probably not a smart decision, but I also think he should have put it higher on top of it if you are going to make that decision. And again, in the red zone and what was such a close game, that's a mistake, and that's certainly one that I'm sure Smith would have loved to have back. Got to make sure you don't do that. The other interception was like, whatever. I'm not mad at this one. DK Metcalf running over the middle. All right, could get open. Let's see how things work out. So Gino Smith takes the snap. He's going to look down the field, looks towards Metcalf. And again, I guess the criticism you could say is like, should he have made this throw? It doesn't appear to be like wide open or anything. But again, you're trying to push the ball down the field. It is, it's second down. So it's not like it's a desperation time. But you're trusting your receiver right here. Unfortunately, Metcalf just stops. I'm not sure exactly why he did that, because it wasn't even I'm just sort of confused about that situation, because it wasn't like he ran the wrong route, and it looked like he was looking at Geno Smith as well. So I don't know exactly what happened there. I don't know if he thought the play was dead or something or what. Maybe he just thought the ball wasn't going to go in his direction because he didn't think he was that open, which he wasn't. It was a risky throw from Smith, and I would probably still say it was a negative play from Smith, but it being an interception feels like harsh for his stat sheet there. So yeah, as a whole, numbers not great from Geno Smith. Tape, I would also say not great, but maybe not a disaster either. I think there were other factors here. And again, my main takeaway when I watched this wasn't even, oh wow, Seattle's offense isn't getting it done. It was more so, wow, Cincinnati's defense is getting it done. Their defense is good. So I think that's, to me, the first thing I would do after, coming back from watching the tape here is give credit to Cincinnati's defense. Cincinnati's defense, very good. Then talking about Gino Smith, I would still say he hasn't played as well this year as he did last year. I know some people might be quick to say last year was a mirage. He's actually not very good. And, again, who knows with this stuff, right? It's such a small sample size, 1 year. But at the same time, I would also kind of say, I don't know. I feel like Geno Smith kind of is who he is. I'm kind of compared him to Ryan Tannehill last year of he's someone who in a good system can make quality throws and does have some playmaking ability. In this game, he made a couple of bad throws. I'm not going to panic over that. I would say it is possible that Geno Smith, that last season, will be his best year in the NFL. That's a possibility. We do have to factor that in. I would also say that, to me, there seems like a very low possibility, if any possibility, that last year was a complete mirage, and actually it's the previous year's Geno Smith. That's who he just always is. I don't see that. I think he still is. Even now, he's still playing much better football than he was in previous years. If last year never happened, we'd be watching this saying, hey, Geno Smith's actually looking pretty well this year. There are things that have to be fixed with the Seattle offense. And again, I think getting Smith and Jigba going could be a key start here. But I don't know. I mean, he had a tough day against the Rams. Turns out the Rams are better than we thought. He's looked really good against the Lions. He looked good against the Panthers. Giants are a weird team, whatever. He gets to play the Cardinals next week. That should be a way to maybe a get-right game. And then the Browns the week after. That could be a get-wrong game. So interesting to see what's going to happen. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Smith. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.